Hey everyone, this is Carrie. I'm back with another recommendation video. This one is going to be for books that will make you think and most likely cry. Alright, so in this I'm going to have 5 books that are going to make you think about them long after the book is finished. The first book that I'm going to be recommending to you is going to be Making Faces by Amy Harmon. This is a book about Fern, who is kind of an ugly duckling in high school, and she has a crush on the most popular guy, Ambrosia. Ambrosia is your typical high school wrestler, popular guy, and he has a buddy. He's buddies with like 4 other guys, and they are all on the wrestling team, and so he has girlfriends and all this other stuff, and she's kind of just on the sidelines, kind of waiting. And then 9/11 happens, and he ends up Ambrosia decides to enlist and get the help of his 4 buddies, and they all go off to war together. And it's really sad. I don't want to give too much of it away, but this book will make you think. I will say that this has Christian undertones, so if you're super not a fan of anything religion related whatsoever, I would probably steer clear of this book. But I enjoyed it. I understood the concept with putting in a little bit of the religion points here and there. Like, I wouldn't call this a Christian book, but it does bring up that point quite a bit. So if that's not really your thing, then you might want to pass on this one. I will say that it is a really sweet book. It has a really, really sad moment in it, but overall there is a happy ending. Book number 4 on my list is The Light We Lost by Jill Santopolo. Maybe I said that right? Okay, so this one, speaking of 9/11, we're going to continue on with the 9/11 theme here in the second book that I'm going to recommend. This one is about Lucy and Gabe, and they meet during 9/11 weekend. They have this amazing weekend together, and then they both decide that they want their life to really mean something after everything that happened. He goes off and goes to college to become a photojournalist, while she goes and does her own thing. And they have a first love, and that's both of them are each other's first love. And then it moves on for years and years, like 13 years into the future. And we see her with a new guy. So Lucy ends up marrying Darren, and Darren is kind of a reliable and sweet guy. But whenever Gabe comes back into her life, she ends up having to make a choice. And I will say, this book made me cry so much at the ending. As you can see, the beginning was just kind of not a lot to talk about, not very many tabs. Towards the end, though, it is just full of my blue tabs, which is sad moments. The ending got me more than most books do. I cried my eyes out for hours after I read this book. It made me think, and it made me just, I will say that it does not end on a happily ever after. So there is that. It is well worth the read. It makes you really truly think about your life and how short it is. But anyway, it's a very good book. Book number 3 on my books that will make you think is Birthday by Meredith Russo. I know I've already talked about this book, but to me, this book is a must-read for everybody. It is about a transgender woman. It is written by a transgender woman, and that to me makes all the difference, because you really get a true perspective of what it could be like. And especially whenever it's dealing with a transgender woman who is finding love in high school and beyond. And I highly recommend this book. It will make you think. It'll make you cry. There's going to be moments that'll make you swoon and laugh. I can't recommend this book enough. Book number 2 on my list out of 5 books is Emily Giffin, All We Ever Wanted. I highly recommend this book. I think this book is so relevant in today's world with rape in high school and college going on, and all of the trials that we've seen recently where the guys get off scot-free. This to me is so relevant, and it is so well done. This does deal with a guy who has a rich family. He grew up on the right side of the tracks, and a girl who is half Hispanic, and she lives with her father. Her father is white, and she grew up kind of on the poor side. And one night she drinks too much at a party, and there is a picture that goes around on social media with her in it, and it kind of leads to the idea of the main guy raping the main girl. And this video, or this picture goes in, and it changes her life. But being in high school, she is mortified because it's her crush that does this to her. It's a guy that she likes and looks up to, and she still likes him. And so she tries to tell her dad, do not, you know, I don't want to press charges. I don't want to go forward with this. I like him. And his mother finds out about what he does. And she changes the game in this book for me so much. I loved the mother of the son in this book. I cannot recommend this book enough. Like I said, it's relevant in today's world, and it is one of the best, most well-done books I've ever read. And the number 1 book that I recommend is Colleen Hoover, All Your Perfects. If you struggle with infertility, or if you're like me and you want a child and you don't have one and you're 30, this book is going to hit you in the gut like you won't even imagine. I can't recommend this enough. It is heartbreaking and sad and realistic and true, and I bawled my eyes out through so much of it. I cannot recommend this one enough. Like I said, it's literally just covered in tabs. Everything is, like, literally almost every page is just covered in tabs, from beautiful moments to heartbreaking moments to loving moments to frustrating moments. It's all there, every bit of it. This is one of my very favorite books that I've ever read this year. Actually, it's one of my very favorite books that I've ever read. It did, like I said, it made me cry. It did make me laugh. There was some sweet moments and funny moments, and it goes back and forth from when they were first falling in love to when they fell out of love, and in between, and all. It is so good. It is so good. I don't want to give too much away. I will say, like I mentioned, that this deals with infertility, and it is a big trigger for those of us that are having issues with that. So anyway, number 1 book, can't say enough about it. So those were 5 books that will make you think long after, and like I said, more than likely will make you cry. If you have any recommendations for similar books for me, go ahead and leave them in the comments below. I know that I have a lot more books to get to, so this is not going to be the only 5 books that I recommend in this category. I do plan on doing another one next year after I read some more of these kind of books. You still have to get through Colleen Hoover's It Ends With Us, and I know that's going to leave me in a ball of a mess, and so I am a little intimidated to read it, but I do plan on reading it by the end of this year. So like I said, this is definitely not the last video you will see from me. Anyway, thank you, and I hope you have a great day.